the mix. Sports mix. Yeah. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny. News and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Plus, he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus, you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Sports Mix. Big Kenny in the building. My man Dean know what's up, homie.
Yes, sir. March 17th.
What they call
Spring,
this?
what? 3 days away?
3 days
4
away.
days? Spring?
What's the day? St. Patrick's Day?
Is that what it is? Man, you ain't got no greens. I got the green background, though. See, I'm covered.
Yeah. I started to put my green hoodie on, but I wanted to represent the black. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Gotta keep it.
There it is.
Gotta keep it. Keep it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This like
You 100.
What's the one we got? Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
It's Juneteenth.
That's right.
Juneteenth. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, you know, like I say, man, we coming up on spring. I'm not sure if it's March 20th or March 21st, but you know, spring is really the official New Year's.
Yeah,
you know, we don't want to be fooling around with no January the 1st when it's all cold and freezing and everything is dead. We're gonna deal with the first day of spring when everything is starting to grow and you know the grass is starting to green and it gets turn green and flowers and birds and insects and life is starting to, you know, take it to another level. So everybody got to take their life to that same level. We got to join them. In fact, man, we just got to be in sync with the damn universe, man. Period.
I like that.
Is when you're supposed to jump forward.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
And here we come. Here we come. The Sports Mix. Hello. It's that. I hate these names because I don't want to jack them up.
Yeah.
But watching on YouTube, I guess it's KSY Fall, Kiss Fall, I guess, channels.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Appreciate
Hello.
you. I'm sorry.
Hello.
I'm sorry I jack your names up. You know, hit that subscribe
Fall.
button. Hit that subscribe button while you're over there on YouTube too. Appreciate you. But yeah, spring. You know, I was listening to I was listening to Stevie Wonder this morning on my way to work. You know, spring is in the air.
Yeah.
And you will come around. I ain't gonna start singing though. But spring is in the air. Spring is in the air, man.
You know, a lot of people start sneezing and all kinds of things. You know, things get a little, you know, agitated and worked up, man. That's what spring will do to you.
Yeah, and I can attest to it because I've been blowing my nose all day. Them allergies starting to kick in.
Yeah,
you know, and the weather don't know what it want to do. We had a day last week where it was 80. The very next day it snowed. You know, the weather been kind of here and there all weekend.
Tornado watch.
Tornadoes and torrential downpours last night. And it's freezing today.
Right.
Wintertime again. Welcome to wintertime in the state of Maryland. Or as they say, you know, the weather changed. Well, what's the saying? Because I'm about to jack that up. But anyway, anyway. And what a week we had.
Leave that alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. What a week we had. Matter of fact, let's take it all the way back to this time last week. You know, we came on the air last week and we was kind of running down the week before and move the Ravens made and free agency was starting and people was moving and places things that was happening kind of at a rapid pace. And we wasn't 2 minutes into the show and we getting breaking news that the Max Crosby deal was called off. The Ravens backed out of the deal. Sunshine, how you doing, Sunshine? I see you over there on Instagram. The weather is definitely bipolar. The weather don't know what they want to do.
Exactly.
But man, listen. All this. We was getting ready to get. We had to change the whole flow of the show last week in the first 5 minutes. The Crosby trade got nixed. Ravens backed out of it. We were talking bad about the Ravens. And people just didn't understand what was happening, and it felt physical. And Crosby had just had surgery in January, so what was the likelihood of him passing a physical in March? Not very high.
Right.
It wasn't real high. That he was going to pass a physical that quick. Two first round draft picks was going to the Raiders in that deal. We lost our center to the Raiders. They signed our center as a free agent. We were losing Likely and a bunch of other free agents, names that we were familiar with, names that were, big names here. And then all of a sudden, you wake up the next morning, maybe not right when I woke up, but the next morning, before noon, the Ravens had signed Trey Hendrickson, defensive lineman from Cincinnati. Pass rusher. Not quite as good, in my opinion, as Max Crosby, but he's good. He's better than what we had. So he comes in.
Absolutely.
First round draft picks, we have those back. So you got one for this year and one for next year. So things aren't as bleak as they were, because we didn't really understand what was happening after the Crosby trade got quashed. But they back, the Ravens picked up Hendrickson. Again, I like the pickup. I think there's more to need to be done, of course, on the defensive line standpoint.
Early K.
Yeah. I didn't even want to try it.
You didn't want to try that name, right?
I didn't even want to try it. And I apologize, Todd. I apologize to y'all with these names on Instagram and stuff. I just don't want to jack your name up. So I'm gonna put you on the screen if you're appropriate, because some of y'all be out of control with some of these comments. I gotta keep in mind. I know some of y'all are a little younger. Might be just trying to pull little fast ones on old Kenny. But yeah, I got my eyes on y'all. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribing over there on YouTube and you following on Instagram. Got my girl Sunshine checking me out on Instagram. my peoples, checking me out. Appreciate you. Peace and blessings and all that. All my people on Facebook checking in. We got a guest coming up a little later. So should be have a good conversation with the guest. But we here and we gonna recap a little bit about what happened with the Ravens this week. So what's your thoughts so far? After we picked up Henderson, there were a couple other moves that the Ravens made in free agency. Not the earth shattering, but they were moving, and you got to fill a roster out some kind of way.
Yeah, because I know Ravens fans needed something.
Yeah,
because when you think about Isaiah Likely leaving and Raymond Jones and Jordan Stout, Tyler Linderbaum, of course, he's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Keaton Mitchell ain't coming back. Darius Washington, Kolar, the tight end, Alohi Gilman, Patrick Ricard. So there were some names, man. Jake Hummel, special teams ace. So there was a lot of names that were leaving. Quite a few of them went back with Harbaugh up there in New York with the Giants. And the Ravens, of course, the Max Crosby deal. And, you know, I don't really put a whole lot into, you know, sometimes my thoughts on certain trades and things like that. I wasn't that hyped on the Max Crosby deal. I was a little worried about giving up 2 first-round draft picks. And not only were they 2 first-round draft picks, but this year's draft pick was at number 14. This was a year that the Ravens did not make the playoffs, and we got that higher draft pick. I would have been a little bit more willing to give up a couple of first-round draft picks when they both going to be somewhere 25, 26, 28, 30, or whatever the pick might be at the end of the draft. So I wasn't that crazy, and especially with him coming off of surgery. And he wasn't just coming off of, you know, like minor surgery. He had a meniscus injury, and they operated on it, but apparently the damage to the meniscus was significant, and that he was going to take at least 6 months before he would be ready to roll again. And he had the operation in January, and the word was he should be ready game 1.
Right.
Now you dropping 2 first-round draft picks, something that you've never done before in the history of the franchise, and we banking on that he should be ready. So obviously he
better be ready.
Failed the physical, and they got caught a lot of crap for that. But I'm taking it for what it's worth. You know, I think and then they say they went back and got Trey Hendrickson. But if they wanted Trey Hendrickson from the beginning, they could have got him instead of going to Crosby. So that thing there about it being underhanded, and a lot of people saying that, you know, the Ravens was pulling the sneak move and what have you. But I'm taking it for what they're saying, for what it's worth. They traded for him. They brought him in. They did a physical. Apparently, they had 4 independent medical folks in there to get their input on his knee. And based on all of the information that they got, they weren't happy with it. They decided to nix the deal. And so now we got Trey Hendrickson. And if you really look at the numbers, he's not as good as Crosby. But if you look at the numbers, Trey Hendrickson actually led the league in sacks in 2024. So the guy ain't no joke. He's older. He's 31. Crosby's 28. But I personally would take Hendrickson and my 2 first-round picks over Max Crosby, who's coming off of some major knee surgery, and giving up my 2 first-round picks. But again, I wasn't all that crazy about them bringing Derrick Henry to Baltimore.
Right, me either.
I admit to that.
Me either. You're not the only one.
Same right there. So, and the man Derrick Henry been a straight dog. So
yeah. Well, I mean, me and you both been on record. You know, we have opinions. You know, and we voice them.
Yeah, we miss.
But from the beginning, from the very beginning, you know, we had to admit, we was wrong.
Yeah,
we wrong, because if it was up to me and you, we'd have had Lawrence Phillips. You know what I'm saying? Me and you both. And here's another thing. Now, me and Dean wasn't even friends like that back then. You know what I'm saying? I knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? I knew who Dean was, but we hadn't connected at that point. You talking about 96. All I think was, hey, get the running back.
Right.
Get the running back.
Right.
And Ozzie Newsome and them boys said, nah, we're gonna go ahead and get this left tackle.
That's what they said.
You know, this is the very first pick we're gonna make with this in this whole organization. This is gonna be the first pick, a left tackle. That was real exciting.
Yeah.
And then they drafted a middle linebacker that I definitely didn't know about. Because I didn't follow college football like that, so I didn't know who Ray Lewis was.
Right.
You know, but again, I'm glad that people like that were making these decisions and not people like me.
Yeah.
You know, because we'd be like in purgatory right now.
Exactly.
You know, Because I'm proud of the guy looking at the stat sheet or looking at the highlight reels, and get him.
Yeah.
We can get a tackle in the 5th round.
That's what I be saying. It was easy to go for the flash player.
Yeah. Thank God they don't listen to us.
Yeah. And I mean, we definitely come to and grown to the point where we know that, man, really this thing is one in the trenches.
Yeah, for sure.
And
sure.
Got to take care of them lines, that O line and that D line. You can have to take care of them.
Mandatory. Yep. So I came across this little thing today with Max Crosby revealed the timeline of his rescinded trade to Baltimore. And I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm going to read it just because, I can. So it says Ravens flew Crosby into D.C. on Monday, March 9th, and he had to drive up to Baltimore. I don't know if he physically drove, but he was driven to Baltimore. He reported to the facility on Tuesday morning, did meet with Ravens head coach Jesse Minter and GM Eric DeCosta until the end of the day after he had his physical and MRI. Didn't see EDC for 5 hours. Crosby said the energy was off when he finally met Minter and DeCosta, who informed him that one of the doctors had concerns with his knee and were going to get more opinions. When Crosby went back to his hotel, his agents told him that they think Baltimore will back out of the deal. A member from the Ravens called Crosby and said they were going to get the deal done. But 5 minutes later, Crosby receives a call from his agent saying Baltimore has backed out of the deal. Crosby flies back to Las Vegas and arrives at 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday. He went to sleep, got up at 4:55 a.m. and went to the Raiders facility to start his knee rehab. So he got back out there and got back to work. That's kind of from his perspective, if this is accurate,
right?
How things shook out. So he made it here. He went for the physical, was expecting, for things to work out. He didn't pass the physical, and the rest is history. Again, the business of sport is not for people that's just got weak hearts. You know what I'm saying? And you just fall in love quick. And I say this to people, man, love your team. Do not fall in love with these players. Because players are going to come and go. And a lot of times it's going to be the ones, the bread and butter guys, the nuts and bolts guys. Your star players got a little more leeway. Lamar's going to be around. Hamilton, I really couldn't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Those are your two stars on each side of the ball, Hamilton and Lamar. Everybody else, is kind of 50-50, depending on how they're playing and how much money you can save if you get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? And even with Lamar and Hamilton, it's really going to predicate their production. As long as Lamar is productive and winning games and always giving us a chance, he'll be here in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? As long as Hamilton is being Hamilton and being the stud that he is on defense, he'll be a Raven. And Hamilton is cut out of the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Suggs. He cut out of that cloth.
Absolutely.
He cut out of that cloth, man. And even though Suggs and Reed and Haloti Ngata and them guys didn't finish their careers with the Ravens, there's no question they are Ravens. You know what I'm saying? They are Ravens and will only always be recognized as such. And Hamilton and Lamar right now are the two guys. Once upon a time, before, I don't want to go down this road, but you'd have thought Justin Tucker was going to be that. You'd have thought he would have been here forever. And he's still out there. Nobody touching him. Nobody. I know it's not because of his ability. I know it's not because of ability. I tend to believe there's more to that story than what was told. And that's why nobody's touching him. You don't go from being the all-time leading kicker in the history of the game to now nobody want to touch you. So you know what I'm saying? That don't have nothing to do with his ability.
Yeah.
You know, that don't have nothing to do with ability, man. I think that's just straight up. He you know, people are not touching him because of there's a little more information that maybe the public don't know about with respect to that whole situation that he got himself into, you know. And a little early yet. I ain't gonna start the jokes yet, but you know, they loaded. They there ready for takeoff when needed.
Yeah.
You know. Yes, I'll hold on to those. I'll hold on to those. But yeah. So again, man, you know, we hear, you know, free agency is among us. It's quiet. So you had a big splash early. The first couple of days of free agency was real. I mean, it was loud, man. I mean, you had a lot of movement. There was some movement, you know, in the last few days. I see quarterback from the Jets got traded to Kansas City. Justin Fields. He got traded to Kansas City. I believe that was yesterday or early this morning. So and I think because Mahomes got hurt, right? So Mahomes may not even start the season. So he could be an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Just until Mahomes comes back. Seat filler. You know, but you know, free agency is among us. You know, there's a few things going on, man, with the NFL. You've been keeping up with any of the basketball stuff going on? You know, the NCAA tournament starts. It actually starts. I guess it starts tonight. The first four.
Oh, okay.
You know, the last, you know, them 4 teams, they get to play them 2 games and
little playing games.
Yeah, that starts tonight. I think UMBC is playing tonight.
Okay.
So good luck to UMBC.
Hey, UMBC.
You know, UMBC. And matter of fact, UMBC is playing Howard. How about that?
Oh.
UMBC is playing Howard tonight. And if you're interested, the Sportsmix has a bracket challenge. And I think you can fill them out, but it got to be filled out by 12 o'clock Thursday. They kind of pass over these 4 games, you know, when people get the brackets in. But you can get a bracket in, and I'm gonna try to put the link up here so you can, if you wanna get on the Sportsmix bracket challenge, you can do that. Be fun, man, and we don't give out no prize, no cash involved. It's all just for fun, you know, just something for entertainment purposes, man, and just for people that want to see if they can pick them, you know, see if you can pick the winners, and I have fun with it every year. You know, the NCAA tournament for me, it's not as exciting as it was once upon a time, just because I don't follow college basketball the way that I did, you know, a few years ago. But I do still watch. I am still a college basketball fan, of course. But let me see. I'm just not as locked in as I used to be, you know. So I've seen a few games this year. I watch low college. I don't watch as much college as I used to, but I watched a few games. Going to be interesting, you know, as always. It's the NCAAs. It's time to. Oh, that's CB. Let me take him out of there. CB ain't on here yet. All right, let me see. So I'm gonna post a link. I don't know how the link is going to show on the screen, man. Let me see. See, that's just a bunch of nothing. So that don't even look like ain't nobody got time to be copying all that stuff, did he? Could you see it?
I saw it was a bunch of.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. So if you go to you go to CBS Sports 2026 NCAA men's bracket games and look up the Sports Mix podcast bracket challenge. And that's where you'll find it if you're looking for it. If you want to participate. If not, I understand. Because some people are looking for somewhere to gamble and bet. And we don't have no money over here to give you. So if you're looking for a prize, this ain't the place to get it. But I'm looking forward to the tournament. You know, it's always exciting. It's basketball. You know, it's college, man. You see, it's the what's the one shining moment, you know, at the end, and you know, you're gonna have some that you never heard of. What's up, Blenny? Any more in the comments? College ball is not the same for me. I'm used to 4-year players. Well, that's another thing, because you don't really get to know the players, because it's either one and done or, you know, half a year and done. You know, and then the mid-major schools, we don't follow them close enough to know the players, the guys that got 4-year players. You know, but there are a couple players that I like to see. You know, the kid out there at BYU, I don't want to jack his name up, but he's tough. I was hopeful the kid from North Carolina, he got injured. And you know, I'm terrible with these names. So if you watch college basketball, you're kind of familiar with who I'm talking about. But Duke got the Boozer twins, and the one twin is better than the other twin. Talking about he could be the first pick. It's a couple kids they're saying could be the number one pick.
Yeah,
this year, you know. So I'm interested in just watching, you know, some good basketball. You know, Thursday and Friday, you got basketball all day from 12 o'clock to pretty much 12 midnight on those first 2 days, and then Saturday and Sunday, you know, pretty much the same. You may not start as early Saturday, but you got, you know, a day full of games both days. Well, all 4 of those days, and then that first weekend is get past that first weekend, and usually the cream will rise to the top. You may have a couple Cinderellas, as they call them, that make it to the second weekend, but you know, and really, in Cinderella probably it'd be a 4-year school with a lot of experienced players, guys that transfer, you know, little older guys that just know how to play basketball. So I'm interested to see how the tournament plays out in the next couple of weeks, bringing college basketball to a close. The NBA season will you know, start to pick up pace as last week. Again, we broke news here. You know, there was a monumental game being had by Bam. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that guy.
What's her name? Boyfriend. Her boyfriend. You know. Hey, listen. you gonna get this when you watch us. You know what I'm saying, man? We had fun with it, but don't hold me to nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about me in the comments, go ahead. I don't care. Especially not tonight. Went outside, man. It felt like it was 10 degrees outside.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous. You know.
So what?
Springtime break come.
I've been hearing a whole lot of kickback from Kobe fans with Bam dropping 83 and still in the game, and they up by 21 or 22. Bam still in there grinding.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been hearing a little bit of kickback from the Kobe faithful about you know, and I knew that anyway.
Yeah,
I knew that was gonna happen. So
you ain't heard nothing from Wilt Chamberlain fans, have you?
No, they don't mess with Wilt. Wilt got a couple of records, man. Well, he got a whole lot of records that ain't gonna be broken. Especially that 20,000 record. Man, ain't nobody breaking that record. Give a damn. Ain't nobody breaking that record.
20,000.
20,000.
20,000 takedowns.
20,000. Will.
Yeah, that's tough.
20,000 bodies. Ain't that something?
That's tough.
That's tough right there, man.
That's tough. That's tough right there. You know, that's why that man had a heart attack or something. Didn't he?
Yeah, he went down. He went down like that.
He went out, probably went out with a bang.
Yeah, he rest in peace, Will. But yeah, that's a record there, man. That one.
Yeah.
In fact, that just overshadowed that 100-point game.
Yeah. He was getting 100. Regular.
Yeah. Right, he averaged 50.
That thing wilt the stilt. So, and speaking of rest in peace, before we go further, I heard Kiki Shepard used to host used to be the. She wasn't the hostess. What would you call Kiki? She was like the. What would you officially call her title?
I don't know what her title would be. But she come out there and put her hand over top of the contestants and cheer for whoever they think the winner is.
Yeah. But Kiki Shepard was, pretty vital.
Yeah.
In a time period like the late 80s into the 90s. If you watch Showtime at the Apollo, that's where she became familiar to me.
Yeah.
And you will see her on different things over the years since that. And she passed away recently. So I'm sending condolences out to Kiki Shepard, who,
the age of 74.
74, yeah. So, and again, man, she was, prevalent in a lot of people's lives just because of, the show. The show had some extreme popularity, like I say, the late 80s into the 90s. Showtime at the Apollo birthed a lot of people. Just the Apollo Theater, period. But just the Showtime at the Apollo just became like the entertainment hub. You always had amateur night, which was good, was entertaining. But you had your entertainment, the entertainers. A lot of your hip hop artists that were not getting opportunities on your regular late night shows. They had opportunity to go on to late Showtime at the Apollo and showcase the talents. You know what I'm saying? And so Kiki Shepard passed away. Sending condolences out to her and her family. A loss nonetheless. So just condolences to the Shepard family. And she was a true legend. She didn't say much, but she was a true legend in Hollywood, in Black Hollywood. Let me say that. So rest in peace, Kiki Shepard.
Peace, Kiki.
Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan got herself an Oscar the other night. I didn't watch it because I don't watch the Oscars or the Grammys or none of that stuff. But he was all the buzz,
right.
Because he won the Best Actor. And he played two people in that movie.
Oh, did he?
So he played twin brothers.
You can tell I ain't seen the movie. So
yeah.
Comment on it.
Yeah, he played twin brothers, man. And
you saw it?
Yeah, I seen it.
So how did you think his performance was like that?
I think he's a pretty good actor anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen him miss too many times. You know what I'm saying? Now, what's Oscar worthy and what's not? Don't start me on that.
Yeah.
I'll miss the boat on that every time. I don't know what the criteria is sometimes. I don't know whether they go by box office. I don't know. But he's one of few, you know what I'm saying, that of black actors.
Yeah.
That has received an Oscar. Which in 2026, it's just crazy that we still having these kind of discussions. And that's why I don't even get too involved with them. Because, you mean to tell me only six people. Is it six black, six African Americans, black, whatever you want to call us this week, are worthy or Oscar worthy? No, I get out of here. Get out of here with that. But he got one, and he's in that crowd. Jamie Foxx got one. Denzel got one. Sidney Poitier, Halle Berry. Who else? I think they said what's the thing had one too. His name is escaping me. Guy with the eye, and I probably shouldn't describe him that way.
Who? Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. He won an Oscar for something. It wasn't best actor. I think it was like best supporting actor or something.
The guy with the eye.
Yeah, but hey, I apologize. My bad. but you knew exactly who I was talking about.
Knew exactly who you
my bad though. Forrest Whitaker, if you're watching, man, my apologies, brother. Don't take it personally. I didn't mean nothing by it. I just I drew a blank with your name. But yeah, so shout out to Michael B. Jordan. And Michael B. Jordan has been acting since he was a child, man. He was a child actor. He's been in a few little situations. I remember he was in the movie. See, here I go. The little kids were playing baseball in the ghetto somewhere, and you know what? I'm not even gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it because I'm lost. I can't even think of the names of the actors or nothing. But he been acting since he was a kid, and I know he was in The Wire. He was in The Wire in season 1 of The Wire as Wallace, and they got Wallace up out of there. They killed Wallace. And his homeboy killed him. You know what I'm saying? But that's just show you how treacherous the streets can be. And they got him up out of there on some false information. For those of y'all that watch The Wire, Wallace realized that being out in the streets and selling drugs wasn't his cup of tea, and he got away for a few. And him being out of pocket, the big people figured out, well, where he at? He's somewhere, because I think they got locked up or something. And so they figured, all right, you ain't seen him, ain't nobody talk to him. He's somewhere, he ready to tell on y'all. So, we got to get rid of him. And you got to do it. You as homeboy, you the one got to do it. You got to make him comfortable and then get him out of here. And that's what happened. Took the band downtown, man. They down there, Crazy John's playing video games and shit. Feeding them all good that night. And he was having the time of his life, man. He's like, yeah, we back. We boys, we ain't did this in a while. And it got him back to the crib. And the boys had the game face on.
Yeah.
Said, well, this is where the ride ends for you, buddy. And Wallace cried. They like, man, don't do this to me, man. Yeah. Well, we boys, yeah. We boys, like, pow. Lights out. That was the end of Michael B. Jordan. And next thing you know, he was blowing up.
Well, that makes him a Baltimorean if he played on it.
Yeah, we'll claim him.
Which I never saw.
You never seen The Wire?
Nope.
Oh, man. Yeah, Wire was
crazy,
pretty goddamn good, man. Yeah. But hey, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I know.
I was hooked. I was watching The Wire faithfully and went back and watched it again.
I heard it was worth that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty good TV. And see, I'm the type, I can separate the entertainment from the real. I grew up here. You know what I'm saying? And we grew up through some stuff and have seen some stuff and know some people that was, heavily involved in some of the stuff that was portrayed in The Wire, man. So I found it entertaining. You know what I mean? And then, it was filmed right here, so you see some familiar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You see some familiar stuff. They had a little bit of the Baltimore culture with the music, some of the music. A lot of the Baltimore, like the Big Fat Morning Show was on there, and some of the local people.
Right.
Mark Clark, who been a guest on the Sports Mix, he was on the wire. So
Okay.
yeah. So man, Michael B. Jordan, congratulations, young fella. Came a long way, doing big things out there in Hollywood. I guess when you get a Oscar, I'm going to say a Grammy. When you get an Oscar, that means you pretty much can command. It's going to cost you $50 million to get me in your movie. He can command them kind of numbers, right? At this point. But didn't Monique win an Oscar?
I thought she did, man, for that role in
for Precious.
For Precious, I thought
that shit ain't work out too well for her, did it?
They was a little pissed off with her for not thanking certain people. All this madness, man. Don't they know that girl from Baltimore? They don't know where Monique from, man. Come on, man. She ain't taking no shit.
Apparently not. Apparently not. But it ain't helped her got there because she ain't got no whole lot of movies. She ain't got a whole lot of roles behind that. It's almost like she been banned or blackballed or something.
Pretty much.
But shout out to Monique if you watch it.
You speak.
Yeah. Come on, holler at the Sports Mix. Mo. Give your boys a holler. So yeah, man. It's like I say, it's March Madness. It is the NCAA tournament is kicking off this week. Who you got? Howard and UMBC jumping off tonight. And I hate how they pair teams that's that close together in the tournament.
Yeah.
They could have played each other. Like, they can play each other at any time. They like 35 minutes away from each other.
Right.
But yeah, and then they probably had to go out to Missouri somewhere to play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got them way out in the Midwest somewhere playing. And that's the only thing about the NCAA tournament is, like Selection Sunday is always exciting. They got the cameras with the teams. They watching to see where they're gonna get seated or if they get in, if they don't, and all the excitement about we got in. But then you get, you were like a 15, 16 seed, and then you get in, and then you matched up against Duke, or you matched up against Arizona, one of the big dogs. So the likelihood of you winning that game is very slim. But you do get the NCAA experience. So I guess you get. I don't know when the teams get in town for the tournaments, when they go to the first round games, and what that experience is like. And that's something I should have asked Dante about, who made it all the way to the Final Four. When he was on here a couple of weeks ago. Just that whole experience, man. What is it like? What is the tournament atmosphere like? As a player, from a player standpoint, what's that atmosphere like? When you're playing in these big arenas, a lot of times they playing them in domes now when you can, and you all these different schools, and especially like you say in round one, and I think the way they're doing it now, they don't have them all in one place. They got them spread out all over the place because I don't know. I don't know why they do it the way they do it, but it got to be a hell of an experience for college basketball players to see, to go through. Of course, you want to go and win it. Everybody go into a tournament wanting to win it. Nobody want to go and be home before Friday or be home before the weekend. You want to kind of play through that weekend and get to the second weekend at least, to that Sweet 16, So tournament starting, NBA action, picking up. I think it's like 10 more games left in the NBA season. A little more scuttlebutt about the season being cut down from 82 games. I saw a rant that Richard Jefferson had about players need to knock it off, play the 82 and be done with it. Because again, and I think we said this last week, if they cut the season from 82 to say 60, 65, the league is going to want something back. You know what I'm saying? The league is not going to cut. They're not going to give away that money, the revenue that they would gain from those extra games without getting something back from the players. And just like Richard Jefferson said, if you cut it back to 60, players are still going to want to take games off. They're still going to want to rest. They still going to want to load manage. You know what I'm saying? So what is the real benefit of it? Just got to toughen up. Got to toughen up, man. So speaking of March Madness, NCAA basketball time. It's that time of the year. We're gonna bring our guest up. Just logged in. Let me introduce him properly. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to shortchange this brother. He was so gracious enough to join us this evening. So we got Mr. Blanchard Hurd, Baltimore basketball legend, played out there at Milford Mill in the mid-'90s. I got familiar with Blanchard. Never got to see him play, but I was familiar with him because, back in the day, we used to could read the Sun paper and keep up with everything that was going on in Baltimore, sports-wise. Matter of fact, even out into the counties, we could kind of know who was who and knew who were the players to watch and all that stuff. So he was one of the ones that I always kept an eye on, and he was a big guy. So, I'm always partial to the big fellas. Blanchard played at Milford Mill. See, one of the top players in the region, got himself a scholarship to Division I level at Loyola University. Played AAU basketball with Cecil Kirk under Anthony Duty Lewis. Key contributor at Loyola, the Greyhounds front court in the late 90s. He was an all-MAC player in 1999-2000 season. He was recognized as one of the top players in the Metro Atlantic Conference. Played in 68 career games at Loyola and finished his career as one of the program's most efficient scorers, ranking among the top field goal percentage leaders in Loyola history. So he got a hell of a resume, but I just remember reading a lot about him. Just never got to see him just because of life. Life had me doing other things at that time. Welcome to the Sports Mix. My guy, Blanchard Hurd. What's up, bro?
What's good with you? What's good, man? Thank you for the intro.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming, man. It's a pleasure to have you. You know what I'm saying? And welcome. This is our official introduction.
Yeah,
Never met in person, but I've read about you back in the day. I always kind of followed you guys coming up from Milford Mill over to Loyola. And
you was right about that. I used to do the same thing. I used to read the Sun to read up on everybody that I knew, and then I got to meet most of them later in life, or I got to meet them when I was playing BNBL, Product Survival, whatever we was doing.
Yep. And that part is missed. You know what I'm saying, from high school sports, just high school sports in general, not just basketball, but just high school sports in general. To be able to pick up that Sun paper, not only could you get the box scores and you get little stories on who was hot, but you remember the Sun people used to put the stats up.
Oh yeah, they put the stats up. Yeah, yeah.
So you knew who were the top scorers in the area. You knew who the top rebounders, assists, all of that. So that part is really missed.
Yeah, they put more. They put more effort into that back then, and you would think with technology it would be easier, but people are lazy and they just don't update things. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. So let's jump into it. Got my man here, man. Thank you again for coming on. So you played out there at Milford Mill. So I'm assuming you're from that part of town. You from the northwest part of the county. When did you? No. Okay.
No,
all right.
No. I am from Liberty Heights. I'm from West Baltimore. Okay. I was born in Sinai Hospital. Okay. I'm Howard Park. I grew up in Howard Park. You know, that part. And then
I'm familiar.
when in second grade we moved to the county. Okay, that's when we moved to the county, and then from that point on, I was out there in that Pikesville, Milford Mill, Randallstown area, Woodlawn. Yeah,
that's what's up. So when did you pick the ball up? When did you pick basketball up? How
uh,
young?
it was 1985, about 1985. So I was about 7, turning 8 years old, about 8 years old, and it was the sport to do for the winter, you know, because I was playing baseball, and then my mother put me into basketball, you know, and then I also did soccer also. So it was like it was a circle for a minute there, you know. And I definitely didn't start off. I was not good when I first started, you know what I'm saying, at all. So
that was the next question.
yeah, no, I did not. I did not hit the ground running immediately. I was better at baseball at first. You know, I might have even been better at baseball, period. But baseball is my sport. But basketball took to about 6th, 7th grade is when I started getting really good at basketball. But right when I started, it took a minute. It took a minute.
Yeah, I played baseball too. You couldn't have told me I wasn't gonna play down on 33rd Street.
Oh man, I wanted to be Eddie Murray. You know what I mean? Like I loved baseball. I think when they traded him is when I started hating baseball. I stopped really wanting to play. That was my thing.
Yeah, I played up until I was 14.
Okay.
Right until like the 8th, 9th grade is when I kind of lost the love.
And another thing that happened was AAU, right? And when I was in 9th grade, I probably would have played spring baseball for Mill, but we had AAU, and so it was like, you gonna play AAU or baseball? I'm gonna play AAU, you know. So
yeah. My son talking about sound familiar. was it that you gave up? What sound familiar? Be a little more specific, buddy. But
Kenny.
yeah, that's it. So all right, so you picked the ball up, young man. So you know who would you credit with giving you the fundamentals, the early part of the game when you were trying to figure it out? Or where was that? Like was it a rec center? Was it a rec program? Like where'd you cut your teeth at?
At first it was Pikesville Rec program, right? Pikesville Rec, and then they would have me play for the travel team, right? And then my uncle was really cool with Meredith Smith, right? And Mike Wise. So as a kid, I would go to whatever camps they went to. So whatever the Southern kids were going, I would go to the same camps, you know, growing up. So I would learn stuff from camp, bring that home. And I was the type of person that if I learned something at camp, I would go home and do it all the time. It wasn't just a camp thing, you know what I mean? So once I learned the micing drill, I overdid it. You know what I'm saying? And I got really good at finishing around the rim. So just stuff like that. And then I don't want to miss anybody on the way up. There was a gentleman that my uncle had paid to train us one summer. Like, you know, training wasn't a thing when we was younger, right? And it was 3 of us. It wasn't like the training that you see right now, but he was teaching us how to do the 3-man weave. He was fixing our form on our jump shots and layups. So just little like fundamental things, right? And then a lot came from me watching up the basketball court. You know, I learned from the guys playing, me and my friends playing all the time, and then watching at my court. I lived near Bedford Elementary. That was the court that I played basketball at. They had a pro-am league up there. So on Sundays, I would sit down and watch, you know, like from like 10 to 14, 10 years old to 14, I would sit down every Sunday and watch them play. So I just learned a lot from them, you know?
Yeah. So who would you say, as you matured into your game, who would you say you kind of modeled after, or if anybody?
Oh, no, definitely. Let's see here. Larry Johnson, Derek Coleman, Anthony Hardaway, of course, MJ, you know what I mean? Like, Kevin McHale, Sean Kemp, And who else am I missing here? Magic. You know what I mean? Because like Magic had it to where I was getting it off the rim and pushing it. I was seeing somebody tall. Now, then I started looking. I'm like, well, Michael Jordan is my height, so how am I gonna be a center? You know what I'm saying? Like this not matching up. And then when I went to AAU in ninth grade, that's when I found out I wasn't a center. Right. I was like, I thought I was tall. In Baltimore, I was tall, right? But nationally, I wasn't tall. So when I saw people my age, 6'10", I was like, oh, wow, I'm not going to be a center in college, So I was really into guys that could face up and play. And Sigma, Jack Sigma, like because I love the way that he faced up. So that's the way I played at a young age. I could play with my back to the basket, but I thought it was cool to face up. I thought, you was more versatile that way.
Now, see, I can tell you a true student of the game, because when the last time you heard anybody reference Jack Sigma?
They not. But if you really know, he was like the first one that was facing up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's good stuff.
And when I was coming up, they used to call, when you faced up, they used to call it the Sigma drill.
So when, at what point? So you said about middle school, well, a little after middle school is when you gave up baseball, went basketball. Doing AAU. So ninth. So what was did you play varsity in ninth grade or you played JV?
Yeah, I tried out for JV, and when I left out of that tryout, the varsity coach was like, "Hey, you can try out for varsity," but I ignored him. And then when I got home, he was on the phone with my mother, and she was like, "Hey, he wants you to go to varsity practice tomorrow." So then I went to varsity practice. To make a long story short, I made varsity. So yeah, I made varsity as a freshman. I was playing behind Norman Nolan. You know what I mean? Like, so I got to sit and watch that whole year, but I also got to battle every day in practice with older, stronger kids. I mean, I said kids, they were grown men back then, and we had seniors and juniors. And one of them was Jerome Dennis. He was a big time football player for Milford at that time. He was our quarterback. But you know what I mean? Like, so I got to really learn a lot that year. I didn't like it because I was on the bench. I ain't play. Right. I felt like I could have averaged 40 on JV, right? But they was like, you know what? I played varsity, and it worked out in the long run. So,
what was your height?
No, go ahead, D.
Ninth grade. What was your height?
I think I came in at 6'4".
Wow.
Yeah, I think I came in about 6'4".
How many years ahead is Nolan than you?
1 year.
He's just 1 year ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Am I right? Yeah, 1 year. Norman just 1 year. 1 year.
Because he played 2 years down Dunbar, right?
He played 2 years down Dunbar. So he was at Milford his freshman year. He was there his sophomore year, my freshman year. Then he went down to Dunbar.
Yeah, I actually got to see him play down Dunbar a few times. I did get to see him, and then, again, well, he was somebody I read about.
Yeah,
you read about him, and then you heard the scuttlebutt. He was leaving, came down Dunbar, and just schedule wise, it was easy for me to get to Dunbar games at that time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So, but I got to see Norman a couple of times. He played down there with Keith Booth 1 year, and then his senior year, I think him and Rodney Elliott.
Yeah.
The seniors on the team. So yeah, so I got to see Norman. So what did you learn from playing behind a guy like that? And how tough was he the year that you was with him?
He was extremely good. Like I think the only person that was better than him was Bernard Hopkins at that time, like as a forward.
Another tough one.
So it was good because I was a little different than Norman. Norman was bigger and stronger, right? He was a little taller, little bigger, extremely skilled, but I was more of a guard. You know what I mean? So we would play different kind of games. Like we would play if it's backing down, I'm not winning that one. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a face-up game and we coming off the thing, then I would have some good success against him. But Norman was a pro, and Norman was always treated that way the whole way. Like we go to 5-star, like you could tell Norman was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, Nolan was tough. And then you mentioned B Hop. Hopkins was tough too. I got to see him up close a couple times.
I
Just
mean,
summertime, and I never seen him in high school, but I always seen him like in the summertime.
Oh wow, he was dominant in high school, man.
Yeah,
It was fun watching him play. To be honest, I learned a lot watching him. Yeah, I was like, I want to dominate like that.
And he was what, a year before you?
No, he was 2 years, or maybe even no, he was 3 years. He was a senior my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a senior my freshman year.
Yeah, so you never really got to bump with him then.
Never. I just got to watch him play. You know what? I played against him in a pro-am league later in life. You know, like a Woodlawn. But
yeah. So you down there. So your sophomore year, was that your breakout year or?
Yeah, that was when I came onto the scene. You know, I think we played Walbrook like the first game of the year, and I had like 23 and 12, and you know, like I had a real good game to be a sophomore. And then we playing against a city team, right? Yeah. And they had Andre Rufus was the center at the time, right? So
I remember Rufus.
They had Broadway, they had everybody. You know what I mean? They had a good Lil Tony, the other one that had bounced Troy that had bounced. They had everybody. Yeah. So Anton, Jennifer. So they had Truck. They beat us, but I looked good out there that game. You know what I'm saying? And then that whole season, I think I probably averaged like 16, 13, and 3. So that was like that was my little break, going from being the guy at the end of the bench to that. You know.
Yeah. So you just exploded on the scene.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, remember that freshman year, having those battles in practice, and then I went and played BNBL, my age group, and Project Survival, my age group, and I looked extremely good. You know what I'm saying? Like I was killing, and then I was playing AAU, so you know I had that confidence going, and then 10th grade, it was like, all right, this is looking like it's going to be my time. But we was I averaged 16, and somebody else averaged like 14, somebody else 12. So we was all close that year too. You know what I mean? But
so who'd you play Project Survival and BNBL with?
That was always Cecil Kirk.
Yeah,
Cecil Kirk. I had originally started AAU with Upton, with Roland Hall, and we couldn't win the city tournament, and then Cecil came and picked me up. They was like, look, we'll take you to nationals with us, and then it turned into me playing BNBL with them in Project, and I never left from that point on, you know.
So who was on some of them Cecil teams with you?
My first team, you had Dante Lemon, Johnny Hemsley, then and BJ Moore, rest in peace, my boy Jimmy. Then I had Nut, then I had Bird, Broadway, Big Hank, who am I missing? Corey from over Mervo, Terrence. I play with Big Horse, Big T-Pain for one of them joints, because Duty would always have us play up too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you played your age group, but then you also played up on a B team. So I played with Terrence and them, and that was about it. That was built, but the crew was pretty much me, Johnny Hemsley, Nut, and then when we went to national, Bootsy, Broadway, Bird, Rock that played for Dunbar, and Billy Wells went with us to the nationals.
Billy Wells. So this is all killers.
Oh yeah, and that's who I competed against all the time when it's BNBL and Project Survival. You know what I'm saying? And then other guys that might not have made that team, but they was killers too on the other teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we gonna get back into that. Let's kind of throw some of them names out there.
Yeah.
Just so folks know, that you just wasn't out the county killing, because
and what's crazy is you can't go back in time, right? But it's like during that time period, that was the whole thing. I was I was the boy down there in the city, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it wasn't no like, yo, he can only do that, there, that. No, I'm starting on the baddest team in the city. What you talking about? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And that's something you always had to contend with. You know, living in the county or playing at a county school.
Definitely.
That you wasn't on the same level as
As
guys in the
somebody
city.
from the city. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So you gotta kind of earn your way, and then once you earn your way, you gotta continue.
Yep.
And really, it really got to become personal. You know what I'm saying? Because you always gonna get challenged that way.
Always,
Always
always.
gonna get challenged that way. Once they find out he not from such and such, I'm gonna go at his neck a little different. And
But
then
see,
once
the thing,
you hold your own,
then it's all good. But see, the thing was, once I was down there, I was down there. I was the
right,
big fella. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So
right,
it wasn't even like that. I was with the crew. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. All right. So junior, senior years at Milford Mill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, I know. Were you player of the year in the county?
So that's a crazy story. It's funny that you say that. So my junior year, I averaged what 23, 15 rebounds, about 3 blocks, and we went undefeated and won the state championship. Mysteriously, there was no county player of the year or whatever.
What?
You know what I mean? The year before there was, you know what I mean? But for some reason there was no county player of the year. So
Wow.
you tell me who would have been county player of the year if with those numbers and you won an undefeated state championship. I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? And you play down Cecil Kirk, which at that time is like your team take your mellow, your team take over, you know what I'm saying? We the EYBL. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm like, I I couldn't tell you. And then my senior year, I averaged 30 and 18, right? And I mean, it was definite. I mean, if we won the states that year, I probably win player of the year, period, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget county. And still even that year, there was no county of the year award. But who else would
Wow.
have won it?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it got weird once I started getting, going. I don't know, man. Just like I I should have been in the Capitol Classic.
Yeah.
Something happened the year before. Some Baltimore guys didn't go, so they didn't invite us the year that it was my senior year.
Wow. Wow. Who was in charge of the county back then? Ron Belenko?
I believe so. I believe so.
You need to get this man some hardware.
Something retroactive. We can go back. I mean, they can go back and look over everybody's stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not a
Get this man
problem.
some hardware.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm about to say, but it's all good. I mean, we had the undefeated state championship, so you can't beat that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'm
And that's
good.
forever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There was a banner hanging up in Milford Gym,
Yeah.
recognizing. So were you familiar? I'm sure you're familiar with him, but did you ever get a chance to see like Craig Amos and Chucky Moore and them dudes?
That's funny you said that. Now, remember you asked me how I get my game and where I got it from. Now, Craig Amos became the assistant coach at Milford starting my sophomore year.
Okay.
So I got a lot of work from him. Now he was fresh out of St. Joe at that time. I'm talking about fresh out of St. Joe. So he was hooping against me every day in practice. So that's who I was playing against.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what was getting me better. And then he was teaching me the college game.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching me how to jab step, 2 dribble, 1 dribble, like stuff that I just, I didn't have that just yet. He was trying to fix my form because Craig was a great shooter, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, he taught me a lot. So, but having him was an advantage. Having pretty much a pro, an all-time Division I basketball player as your assistant coach, and he's 26. He's in his prime of his life right now.
Wow.
So that was an important part to the puzzle was Craig Amos, definitely. And then I played against Chucky all the time up the court of Woodmore.
Yeah.
Chucky from Woodmore. They from even though his father coached down Lake, they right around the corner. So I played against him a lot growing up, and they was always supportive. They was at the games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was coming and watching. So, yeah.
Them guys are my era. So
Okay.
I went to Dundalk.
Okay.
So the crazy part, so we played Milford in my 10th grade year, which was 86, 87. In 87, 88, the county went to some kind of 3A, 4A.
Yeah.
So we rarely played a 1A, 2A school.
Yeah.
So Milford, we never played Milford again after my 10th grade year.
And
I got to see them guys play.
Yeah.
And I knew both of them was tough. But yeah, I followed Craig Amos. You know, just like I said, he was in my era, so I kind of followed him from Milford through St. Joe's. And you know, I remember when he came back to coach. I didn't realize he was coaching when you were there.
Yeah. I was. He first started with us, and then he went to Pikesville, I think, after that. Yeah, but it was with us first. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So those two guys, and then I got to play against like Everest Burns at Woodlawn. You know, he was tough.
He used to come up. He used to come up to the court and hoop with us because even though he went to Woodlawn, he really lived around my way. It was weird that he even was zoned to go to Woodlawn, but yeah.
Yep. Average Burns, big guy. I'm gonna try to get him on here too. You know, I got to compete him against all three of my years that I played against him.
Okay.
You know, saw him play at University of Maryland, and of course, you know, with Sacramento and all that stuff too. So, so your junior senior year, you should have been player of the year in the county. So what is recruiting looking like for you? You know, coming off of those two monster seasons, what kind of schools are coming after you, and what's that looking like? You know, for a kid in Baltimore County, which again, the reputation is a little different than if you played in the city. You playing Cecil Kirk in the summertime, which is probably where you're gonna get a lot more recognition from the colleges. But what's recruiting looking like for you in your your junior and senior years?
Well, here's another important piece people got to remember. I also went to 5-star basketball camp, right? So
it's big.
When you go to camps like that, that's pretty much an invite only camp. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely a part of the invite only guys, right? So I get a lot of good recruiting from there, and then the recruiting comes from Cecil Kirk playing AAU, right? Then the colleges just check in during the basketball season. You know what I'm saying? But they know that they've already seen what I can do because they've seen me play against the best. You know what I mean? They're not worried about what's going on in the county. You know what I mean? So that was never an issue. But I had mid majors and high level schools. You know, this would happen. The high schools wanted to sign me in the second signing period. Back in those days, there were two signing periods. It was the early signing period and then the one after the season, right? If you was like that and they really wanted you, you was signing in the early signing period, right?
Right.
So Loyola was on me heavy, right? But there was Penn State, there was George Mason, there was Arizona, there was UMass, but those schools wanted to sign me in the second signing period, right? So I felt as though they didn't love me like Loyola did, and I was like, if I go to Loyola, I start immediately. And there was a couple other schools like that, Towson and Delaware, right? I go to any of those three, I get to start immediately, and they recruited me hard. So I was thinking more mid-major, go there, kill, and see what happens from there, you know?
So who was the coach at Loyola at that time?
Brian Ellaby. And he had came from Virginia. He was the head assistant coach at Virginia when Uri Barnes and all them guys from back in them days. That was I forgot, who was the other dude?
Junior Burrow and them boys.
Junior Burrows, and then there's a guard. There's a guard too. There's a name. But all of them, right? He coached them.
Corey Alexander?
Corey Alexander. No, it might have been Corey Alexander, but yeah.
Corey Alexander Corey Alexander was there like in the early 90s.
And Stiff. What
There's
was
another
Stiff
guy,
there?
Brian Stiff was there.
Brian
like
Stiff. That's
late,
what I'm talking. Brian Stiff.
Late 80s into the early 90s. Stiff was
Yep.
there.
So
He
it was
tough
Stiff.
too.
Stiff and Junior Burroughs was his boy. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was his crew. So he came straight from there, and great recruit. He was trying to do it big at Loyola. We had a lot of good talent that he had brought in when he came there. But yeah, it was Brian Ellaby. And then remember, he went after he left Loyola, he got the Michigan job.
Michigan, right.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. He replaced Steve Fisher, right?
Yeah, because they got in trouble and they just gave it to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was thinking he was at Michigan first.
Yeah.
But no, he replaced Steve Fisher. So I do remember that. All right. So you decide you're gonna go to Loyola.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that? Was it an easy decision for you, or like did you want to get away from home, or did it matter?
I wanted to get away from home. My mother wanted me to stay close. You know what I mean? And I looked at it like, why not stay close? Your family can come still see you hoop. You know what I mean? But I wanted to go to Arizona. Oh, hold up. I forgot about Hofstra. Now let me tell the story about Hofstra. I really wanted to go to Hofstra. And the coach at that time was a young Jay Wright. Okay. Right. And Jay Wright recruited me heavy at Hofstra, and I wanted to be in New York. You know, I do a little music, so I was like, man, I want to be out that way. I don't want to, so I didn't even get to go on the recruiting trip. My mother wouldn't even let me go. She thought that they was going to like have it looking like he got game out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, because I remember they was like, yo, we got Ed Lover and Dr. Dre for Midnight Madness. It was going to be done up. And I really wanted to go to Hofstra. So I missed out on that. And but I mean, Loyola had a great visit. And, Loyola, the dorms were like top notch compared to everybody else. And the campus life is crazy there. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't beat it. And I thought, I liked the people that was coming in, so that's the one I went with.
I work part-time at Loyola right now.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
Which dorms did you stay in?
See, that's funny. That's another story because the names done changed, right? All in the end, and not only that, them dorms don't look like the dorms I lived in because they put up all kinds of partitions and dividers, right? And they're cramming 7 to 8 people when it used to just be 2 people in those rooms, right? Yeah. So don't you know those towers that when you're coming down Cold Spring right near Royal Farm?
Yep, Newman Towers.
See, it was called Wynwood back in the day, and we used to live there. Then we used to live at Guilford Towers, the ones up a little bit from there.
Okay.
And then we used to live in Ahern back behind where Popeyes is at. You know what I'm saying?
Past the library.
Yep.
Ahern is still Ahern.
Okay, and Ahern, when I moved over there, it was brand new.
Okay.
So
got Ahern and then McCulley.
And McCulley, and that was all seniors, right? Yeah. That's all upperclassmen.
Yeah. Yep. I'll be over there tomorrow evening.
Okay.
I'll tell him you said hello.
Yeah. I ain't been over there. I ain't been on that side in a minute. Minute.
I'm over there a couple of days a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm over there a couple of days a week. So you're coming in as a freshman. What is your expectation going in as a freshman?
To be freshman of the year and get busy.
There you go. So what was who was in the MAC conference back then?
So back then you had Iona, Siena, Niagara, Canisius, Fairfield, Marist, St. Peter's, and I don't think I'm missing anybody, but there was a whole bunch of freaking Buffalo teams and upper state New York teams. We was the only team this far down. I think that's why they got out of that league.
Yeah. So y'all going up there, them winter trips in the snow and everything else.
Oh man, and we used to get stuck. Because Buffalo ridiculous and all of that. We used to get stuck all the time. We'd be on the road for like a week or two and miss so much school. Yeah. So
Wow. So how did the freshman year turn out?
So freshman year is when I injured my knee, right? I injured it in practice. Then I played the first game versus William and Murray. I did all right. And then I hurt it again versus, I can't remember the team that we was playing. It might have been Mount St. Mary's. I can't remember, but I hurt it again, and then I was out for the season. So I got surgery, and they redshirted me because since I got hurt so early in the season, they redshirted me, and I came back again as a freshman the next year, right? So same thing. I played well the first like 2 or 3 games, and then I hurt it again.
Wow.
So I was done. You know what I mean? I had to get surgery again, I believe, and that was a downward spiral for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I could have cared less at that time. I was like, you know, I was hurt. I wasn't really. I went from almost making the dean's list to not even really. You know, I wasn't into it. I was mentally checked out because I felt like basketball was over. You know.
Right.
So I was just like, I was definitely doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just, I was out of it for a minute. You know.
I get it, man. We was all young once.
Yeah.
So with all that, you know, you got these expectations coming in as a freshman, and then you're dealing with injury for the first time. Back to back.
Yeah.
You know, so. But you didn't totally give up because you were still able to rebound and come back and have some success on the college level.
Nah, I fought my way back, and then one part of that story is our athletic director. He passed away. His name was Joe Boylan, right? He went to Milford Mill in the '60s, right? So he loved me. So he wasn't trying to let me be let go because I was academically ineligible and everything. And, you know, I was messing up with the training and with the knee and everything. So he came to my house, talked to me, and my mother was like, look, they want to let you go, but I ain't trying to let that happen. I need you to do this. You got to be locked in. If you miss one day in the training room, you out of here, this, that, you know what I mean? And me and the trainer locked in. And then by the end of that year, I came up. I didn't go up to practice the whole year. At the end of the year, I went up on the practice court just to see. I thought they was going to send me back downstairs, but I jumped right in the drills, and they saw I was back. You know, people started smiling. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, all right. But then that coaching staff ended up getting fired. You know what I mean? So then that's when Dino Gaudio came in. And I played the 2 full years that I played with him, and I averaged double figures. I led the MAC in field goal percentage. You know what I'm saying? And my senior year would have been better. I was averaging like 18 and 7, but then my other best player, Jason Rowe, failed off and during Christmas, you know, around that Christmas time area. So season was pretty much done after that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So. But
where was he from? I remember that name.
He was from Buffalo. He was from Buffalo. Yeah, he was baby Steph. Had like a 40-inch vert, about 5'7", could shoot from half court. You know, and he was a bad man.
I remember that name. The Sun Paper. I'm telling you, man. Sun Paper had. I remember a lot of names, especially when I hear them. Now, don't ask me to quote nothing off the top right now. I'll be stuttering and forgetting names all the time.
Yeah.
You definitely jarred me with that one. I definitely remember reading that name in the Sun Papers back in the day. So you know, so did you have pro aspirations or did you kind of figure?
No, so that everything you say, I'm gonna be like, that's a funny story. So I thought after my last game in college, right, in the MAC playoffs or whatever, the MAC tournament, right, I thought my career was over. You know, I was like, yo, all right, and one day I go to my email and it's a whole bunch of agents in my email, right? And then they calling me and I'm like, yo, they talking about overseas and this, that, and that. And I was like, word. So I ended up getting with an agent. His name was Jeff Jankovic, right? He ended up becoming a big agent for the NFL, right?
Okay.
But I had him when he was young. And, we was looking at, I played in the National Rookie League, which is now the G League. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a G League yet. So that was it. That's where, if the G League was around, I would have played in it. But I did well in it. And I was getting a lot of different offers for overseas. I was looking, I wasn't getting nothing crazy, like 50,000, you know what I mean? To start off. And he talking 50,000 and 2,000, you know what I mean? So that's not bad. But then I hurt my knee again in the National Rookie League. Now for the National Rookie League, I played for Charles Smitty that played at Georgetown. Yeah. Reggie Williams coached the Baltimore team. Go ahead.
Smitty, one of my favorites, and you just mentioned my all-time favorite, Reggie.
Reggie Williams. He coached the DC team, so I tried out for both teams. I could have, but I went with the Baltimore team, which is ironically, Smitty was the Baltimore team coach, and he's the DC coach. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
Now, what league was that?
It was called the National Rookie League, NRL.
Okay. Yep. And Reggie been a guest on the show too.
Okay.
He
was a head coach in it. Yep.
He might
back when he had his he used to have a pool parlor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might have been my first guest.
Wow. I
started this thing. Yeah, Reggie, man. I was friends with his brother, so that's how I was able to make that happen.
Okay.
But so at what point did you realize this basketball thing may not go as far as I wanted, and I'm gonna have to change directions?
When I got hurt in that in the National Rookie League, right? I had my degree at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So after that, I started working with children. You know what I mean? That's when I started working. I started working at the YMCA in DC, and my agent came there, tried to send me to Canada. He wanted me to go to Canada and play over there, and I was like, man, I said, wherever I go, they're gonna send me back. You know what I mean? I was like, my knee not right, so I'm not. It's a wrap. So then I just did that, and just I tried to get. I was doing the music thing and being a teacher.
Okay. So professionally, what do you do now professionally?
I'm an educator. I've been pretty much from 2000 on. I've always been working with children, whether it's aftercare, whether it's coaching, whether it's teaching. But I'm in the schools.
Okay. And then you said you did some music too. So I kind of remember hearing that. Just didn't realize it was you, because you friends with one of my old guys I used to coach, Ryan Easterly.
Oh yeah. Hazy. Yeah. And then that's the connection, especially when you say Dundalk. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, my children.
Yeah. So when I was getting with Hazy, I had my own radio station, Transition Kings Radio.
Okay.
And he was doing a lot of film work for us, and but yeah, now I've been doing music. Music was always the second thing. Even in college, all summer we making songs. We going down Morgan to get in the ciphers, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So music was always the thing. But yeah, with Ryan, we was doing the radio thing, and then we was doing shows down Shuckers at Fells Point and down Rams Head. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my guy, man. I coached Ryan when I think I met Ryan. He was like 10, 11 years old. So,
yeah.
I coached him. Coached his brother a little bit.
I'm about to say, did you get his brother? You get his brother?
No, his brother was a little older.
Okay.
When my first year coaching, we had Ryan. We ended up getting Rudy Gay that year.
Okay.
We had a couple little guys that ended up playing a little ball.
Okay.
But yeah, Ryan was like one of the first group of kids that I coached.
Okay.
Okay. He was our point guard.
Oh.
Yep. Ryan was our point guard.
But he be telling me he could hoop. You know what I'm saying?
He could go.
Okay.
He could go.
Okay.
Real smart, real cerebral too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like we can put the ball in his hands. He do exactly what you need him to do out there, get everybody involved, and then he could score when he had to too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like he didn't grow like his brother. You know what I'm
Got
saying?
you.
His brother was a little taller than him. His brother's a little more athletic than Ryan.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Ryan, I think Ryan went to school the same place his brother went, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah, they was down. It was in West Virginia,
out there in the Shenandoah Valley somewhere. Out there, I know it was way out there.
We did a party down there, crazy party down there. He took me down there. I can't remember the name. It's near James Madison University.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but I remember where it's at because I didn't go to the school, but I've been out that way before for work.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's my guy Ryan, man. Definitely good kid. Small world, you never know. We always connected some kind of way.
Definitely.
That 6 degrees is real.
It is, especially in this town. Especially in this town.
I got some DJing under my resume as well. I'm looking at my 1200s right now.
Okay.
Over there in the corner collecting dust.
Look, I got my controller over here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have the turntables in a closet at my mother house somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I got a closet full of records, and I got my 12. Oh, that's about all I got left. Yeah. And I never converted. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of let it go after that. But
what happened was I was like one of the first people to get the controller when that first came out, and that's what brought me back because I was like, oh, I ain't gotta carry all them crates of records. All I gotta do is have a hard drive. Oh, I'm back. You know what I mean?
That make it a whole lot easier.
Oh my gosh, people don't know what it really was like to DJ a party when you had to carry crates and crates and crates and crates of records. They don't know what that is. You know what I mean?
Man, and then sometimes you gotta carry them up steps and.
Oh, you had to have homeboys. Like, I mean, because that's a job. And then, I mean, look at the way people want to hear music. You wouldn't have been able to feed their ears like that. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of records.
Yeah, like we had to let the records play. I ain't got a million records to play. You know what I'm saying? Like we going
preparing for a party back then was because you're going through everything.
Oh, you gotta have all your stuff in the right place so you can you can switch it up when you need to. And yeah, it was different.
It was some good times though.
But I'll say this.
Definitely miss it.
I'll say this. If you DJ'd back then with technology, you'd be ridiculous now. You know what I mean? Because of how hard it was back then, they make it extremely easy right now. So it's too easy.
I want to dip my toe in the water. I've been saying it for a minute now.
It's a hobby. Why not? It's a hobby. You know?
Because I love music.
Yeah.
I got a love for music. So I think I could, because I always mix in my head anyway.
Yeah.
I'm already mixing. I already got the next joint queued up in my mind.
See?
I always do that.
Thinking like a DJ. You know what I mean? Thinking like a DJ.
It's like riding a bike. You never lose it.
No.
Never lose it. So all right, let's get back into we can do this music thing too. So when did you get the coaching bug?
It started with music. My boy Kev English, he played with me at Milford, right? Mm-hmm. Back when he was older. He played for Bowie State in college. He had just got the coaching job at Randallstown, and I was hitting him up about some music stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I was going to him asking him about some music stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I need you to coach with me." You know what I mean? I'm like, coach? I wasn't thinking about coaching. You know, now I will say I always did summer basketball camp ever since college. I've never not done a summer basketball camp since 1995. I always work camp. So I was always doing that, but I wasn't coaching.
Right. And
I don't know. He saw something, and I started coaching with him. And at first, I wasn't going that hard. And then you get competitive, and I started loving it. You know what I mean? And then I ended up while I was there, I was also coaching at Pikesville Middle School. Mm-hmm. I took Pikesville Middle School, and then from those two, that's when I started coaching AAU. You know what I mean? And then it just went on from there.
So how many years you been coaching now?
Let's see. Realistically, I started in like 2010, so about 16 years.
So just in that short period of time, right? Now I had the same conversation where I had Darnell Danslow on here. I had Dante a couple weeks ago. We all of a same age range.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all when we was taught the game, we was taught the game a certain way.
Yeah.
Mostly inside out. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Everybody wanted the big guy, throw it into the big guy. You work off your big guy. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't really guard dominated, even though you had guards back then that could boogie a little bit. The game now is outside in.
Mm-hmm.
And rarely in, because most people don't even want to be inside. Most kids
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't want to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So as somebody, who has to adjust to the style of play, what is your coaching methods these days? Are you still sticking to how you were taught, or do you kind of adjust to what you see going on now?
Well, I was taught in a unique way. We played small ball at Cecil because remember, I'm the center. And I might be tall here, but I'm not tall when we compete nationally, right?
Right.
Nut and BJ and Bird could shoot threes. So could Rock. So could Billy Wells. So could, you know what I mean? So now we also were attacking the ball more. But to answer your question, I mean, you got to adapt with the times, right? But I also teach the kids. I make sure they don't shoot us out the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what happens when you playing that run and gun style of basketball. Because if it's not going in, you just starting their fast break. You know what I'm saying? So, I teach in that way, but I let them. The ones that can shoot, we gonna shoot. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. We ain't Golden State. We not Golden State, and actually we are Golden State. You know why? Because if people really watch Golden State, they go inside a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, if you really watch them, they throwing a whole bunch of backdoor cuts, getting layups, doing all. I'm like, y'all act like that was the Rockets that was doing that crazy just shooting 3-pointer stuff when James Harden was there, and they got rid of the center. That was the team that was doing that. It wasn't Golden State. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think kids are starting to see how. To be honest, how low percentage that is, because that's not winning basketball, right? And a lot of teams aren't winning because they're playing that way. It's like, yo, you just launching, and it's not going in. I'm a percentages guy. Like the one thing they say about me at Loyola, like I shot at a high percentage. I was really into that. I wasn't. If I was off, I wasn't letting that thing go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm not. I'm an efficient guy. So I try to teach the kids to be efficient. I have stats when you play for me, right? Yeah. So the box score is going to come out in the parent group and in the kid group. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see, like, all right, you went 5 for 19 from threes. That's not efficient. We're not doing it. 4 turnovers, no assists. You know what I'm saying? So they really get to see what they're doing. But that's how I adapt. But I've won, I've had really good success, as a coach over the past 16 years. So I haven't had too much problems with it. And the issue that I have had, though, I haven't really been able to teach anybody my talents around the rim, right? Because I'll get a big, and I'm thinking like, damn, I'm thinking their parents would definitely love to have their kid train with me. And they'll say some stuff like, oh, I really want him to work on his being a guard, because if he goes to North Carolina or Duke, he'll play guard. And I'm like, North Carolina and Duke? Like what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start here first. So and then I'm like, you would want him to get the foundation around the rim, right? And then, the jump shot and everything is a plus. So then I'll see kids that, like you said, they'll be tall and they can shoot, but they uncomfortable around the rim.
Yeah.
So they're not getting no buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you messed that kid up. So yeah, I'm not all about just shoot. But I mean, we definitely letting it go for the ones that know what they're doing, that can put the ball in the hole.
Yeah, I got a rule, because I coach JV at Dundalk, so.
Okay.
Kids, number one, kids when you walk in the gym and the first shot you take is a 3-pointer.
Oh man, I don't like that. Yeah, we gonna have an issue with that. They won't do that in front of me. They don't do that in front of me. Yeah.
And I had a kid. I used to call him 1 for 15. And he's like, "Come on, coach," because the kid remember the one they made.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Slim, you done missed like 5 in a row. You missed 5, and not only you missing them bad.
Yeah.
So you're not a shooter, but it's not. And I don't say that to cut them down. I say that to try to get them to see the game in the way, like you said, if you know your shot not falling, you're not gonna just start jacking them up.
I'm gonna go to the basket. Yeah.
That's number one. You got the IQ to understand. All right, this is not a good shot offensively. You know what I'm saying? This is, like you say, a bad shot is going to lead to a fast break the other way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then, so who going to rotate back? Because everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's spotting up to shoot the 3, but nobody thinking about playing defense. So it's just like trying to teach the game backwards. Almost.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the frustration that I deal with is this really, you got kids that really aren't cerebral in that way and really haven't been taught before they get to their high school.
Well,
that's a struggle that we have.
I was talking to somebody and then I really thought about it because I'm like, how did we get good? Right? Think about it. When you grew up, were you ever put in constant drills through the legs, crossover, layup, through the legs? You know what I mean? We didn't do that growing up, right? No. So we played pickup ball, right? That was the way you trained, right?
Every day.
And if you didn't have a left hand, you worked around it, but then you also had to learn how to get it, or you wasn't going to be able to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how you learned. And then what you play against older guys, and you have to learn, like, yo, they're stronger than us, they're quicker. Like, what we gonna do? So you got to come up with strategy, right? You learn the workarounds, and that's how you get better. You come up with a scouting report. Like, I'll watch you play before I got next. I'm watching you. Like, you know what? He got a nice bank shot, but he can't shoot no regular jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he can drive right. He can't go left. You know what I'm saying? He don't like people being physical with him. So you learn those types of things, and you bring that to the game, and it's more fluent. They don't do that, and they didn't learn that. So their game is a little bit more robotic, you know?
Yeah, my guy Neil, who I played with, we played together in high school, and one of my best friends, he said, basketball truly a non-contact sport. Now, nobody wants to get touched at all.
They don't, and the way that the way that it's officiated, you're not to be touched. You know, we played in a hand checking game, right? Yeah. Like, now, how much better would you have been if somebody couldn't have just held your hip and you could have just drove past them? You know what I mean? Like, but that was also the fun of it, right? You was used to chopping down people's arms, and you had to work to score, man. You know?
And you was taught anybody cutting through the lane, touch them.
Oh man, I'm putting the elbow on you. I'm putting the whole forearm in your chest, right?
No free passes through the lane. You better figure out another way to get there.
That's a foul. That's a foul now. Go ahead and try that. Try what we used to do. Put an elbow on. Matter of fact, you might get ejected. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You might get ejected.
But yeah, you're right. The kids just don't play basketball. Mm-mm. Everything got to be controlled in a gym, damn near with referees. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out on the court, on the what they call it, asphalt or whatever that shit, hard with the black top.
The black top. You know what the problem is though? If they go out and hoop amongst each other, that ain't gonna do it. Mm-hmm. The problem is when we used to hoop, there were older guys out there, right? Yeah. So they policed us, right? It wasn't us policing, it was the older one, and they was making sure that you wasn't playing basketball stupid and like, nah, man, we ain't doing that. Yo, shorty, stop over dribbling the ball. Do this, cut it. You know what I mean? So they was doing the coach, so you had enough of them out there. So it's like now to create that environment, you got to sprinkle that in there somehow. You know what I mean? Because if it's just them playing pickup, have you ever watched them? Because I've tried to do that. Have you ever watched them try to play pickup with just their age group? That ain't it. That they might get worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that.
Nah. Yeah, you're right. You know, the older guys, I can remember vividly, when the older guys started letting me play with them. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, that was a rite of passage. At one time, it's like you sit on the side, you watch.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You too little, that type of stuff. But then when you got old enough and you know, they felt like your skill, you could keep up where you wasn't going to slow their game down.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the thing. Can you keep up with them?
Yep.
Once they felt like you could keep up, then you could play and then you can learn. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of figured it out that way. But you're right. You know, the kids are not, they don't really have the OGs out there on the court to teach them. You know what I'm saying? It just like I say, the kids now just don't even want to go out to play. You know what I'm saying? It was too hot.
Yeah, they don't like the elements. We played outside, period, not just basketball, right? You just was outside all day, right? So our body was used to being outside. They not used to being outside, so that hurt. That little bit of sun all day hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different.
But, I mean, we played in the, I ain't gonna say in the snow, but we in the wintertime for sure. We was on the court.
I shoveled the snow off my court up to elementary school one time just to shoot around. So we definitely was up there, and I loved it that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we played in the dark. You know,
oh my gosh,
that was you had lights. You was out there. You know what I'm saying?
Or somebody might have put their guys used to drive their car up on the grass and put their car lights on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that ain't a light for real.
No,
make it work.
You can see something. Yeah, you can see something. You know what I mean?
Make it work. But again, that's just the difference. And like I try to stay away from when we talking to the kids, trying to stop comparing how it was to how it is.
Yeah.
Because they kind of go in and out the ear. They don't really hear that. They kind of whatever.
And I know with me, I try to create environments, right? I try to create environments that we grew up in. And, you know, when I do have the kids play pickup, so think about this too, because a lot of people be like, man, we play pickup all day. These kids should be able to play all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, we was playing pickup on elementary school size courts, right? We wasn't playing on no long, hot, you know what I mean? Right, and it wasn't no fast breaking game like that. It was a semi break. You was walking it up the court. Now you was grinding. It was physical, but it wasn't fast. You know what I'm saying? So your body wasn't getting broken down like that now. But at the same time, my knees was getting messed up on that semen all day, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm a testament to that. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't like you wasn't playing no AAU game. You know what I'm saying? That's different than playing pickup. Yeah. So when I do play pickup, I'd rather be in an elementary school game with the kids so they can't be walking up and down, and it's a quicker game. You know what I mean? Because that's what I don't like. Like if they play on a long court, it's going to be a whole bunch of fast breaking and cherry picking, and it's going to get phony quick, right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather them play half court. You want to congest it. They got to learn how to play in a congested area. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's rough, man. It's rough navigating this whole basketball thing. And I got 3 boys in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I still try to stick to the old school rules. I play my boys up. Yeah.
So I see some of the videos you post, with your sons, and you kind of working out little workout videos and some of the stuff you got them doing. So definitely kudos for that. And then even being a coach, at this time with a family, because I know that's tough as well. You coaching and you raising the family as well. So you got to kind of coaching your boys, which kind of keep y'all kind of connected in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, because you played at a high level, you understand kind of what it take.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of coach your boys a different way.
Yeah.
Rather than the parent that's kind of living through their son that just want to see, want to see, I want him to go further than I did, or he got to get to this level, or it's a failure type of situation. And I know you see that.
Yeah, all the time.
You see that all the time.
All the time, every day. Every day.
And again, like, I didn't play in college, you know what I'm saying? But I've been coaching for 25, 30 years, almost 30.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've seen a lot, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, man, the most unrealistic people are parents.
They are. And
they everybody think their son is the one. Now, like I started off coaching 10, 11, 12-year-olds that hadn't grown into their bodies yet. The first thing I always do when parents talk to me is I always look at mom is like 5'3", dad like 5'8". So the likelihood that son is going to be 6'8", 6'7" is very unlikely
whatsoever.
And I try to explain it in a way where I'm not crushing dreams, because I don't want to be a dream killer. If that's your dream, or if you're willing to put the work in that's going to take to get you there, I'm all for you.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, if you under 6'5", do you understand how extremely talented you have to be?
Like, and it's getting worse. You know what I mean? It's getting even harder, and that's what I was talking about. And like some people had some pushback to it, and I'm like, yo, basketball was already a tall man sport. Okay, it's a tall man sport, so there ain't no getting around that. But now it's getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you used to be able to be a 6-foot point guard, right? Yeah. You cannot be it's like 6'5" or better, and they're not even looking right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right. I mean, and there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but nowhere near as many as it used to be. No. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, you look at a Muggsy. You understand what I'm saying? 5'3", and he played 16 years in the league. Exceptional. He wasn't a sideshow. He wasn't a freak. He could go.
Yeah.
But he was exceptional. You know what I'm saying? And to be his size and to play that long in the NBA. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's how great he was. You know what I'm saying? But again, how many Muggsies have come along after that? You know what I mean?
It's not any. Ain't no 5'3".
Like it's rough out here. And my thing is, like, guys like me, like I don't have to live through them because I did it, right? And I know what I did to get it, right? A lot of those parents don't know, right? Mm-hmm. So I have parents telling me, and I'm like, how are you telling me when I did it and I lived it? You know what I'm saying? How could you know it? How could you possibly know it better than me? I'm like, yo, you stop telling me. Like, I'm like, all right, y'all do what y'all do, right? Mm-hmm. We gonna do what we do, and we'll meet up. We'll see who stuff work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all stuff ain't gonna pan out, man. I already know. And I told my sons in elementary school, like, don't worry about this right now. I said, when I was a kid, all of the guards was better than me, right? Elementary school, all better than me. Middle school, but by the time I got to high school, it was a different game, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the video that jumped out at me, the video you posted a week or two ago, right before I reached out to you, when you was talking about AAU and AAU teams starting to grow on trees now. You know how once upon a time you had to really make an AAU team. You almost had to be chosen to even try out for certain teams, and only certain teams was getting out of each region. The top teams in the cities.
You had to win. You had to win the tournament in the city to go. Yeah,
and the best of the best.
Yeah,
was on these teams. Mm-hmm. And like I say, since when I started coaching, I only coached AAU maybe once or twice. Mm-hmm. And I know I don't have the time. I don't have the time to commit to that. So that's why I just kind of stayed off of that. And I just did local travel stuff. But when I see these teams and I see, a kid who maybe couldn't make another team and dad might got a couple dollars or uncle somebody got a couple dollars and we're going to start a team and because we want to get you on that stage and whatever. So, you might got 2 or 3 guys on that team that can play, maybe. And then you got the rest of the team was guys that probably shouldn't leave the beltway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And just to say they played AAU. And one of the things that it almost make me laugh, but again, I'm not a dream killer. When a kid come to me and like, yeah, coach, I play AAU. I said, who you play with? And their name, some team I ain't never ever heard of ever. And I just say, okay, all right. So I know what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know what that is. And like I said, I know some of the coaches that's really getting it done. Mm-hmm. And if you're not playing on certain teams and certain levels, you really just saying you play AAU to say you played it.
Yeah.
Because you're not really getting much out of it.
And
then I watch you play, and I say,
Mhm.
well, you're not even learning anything. So there's that part. But go ahead.
What I was going to say is, to be honest, people are giving AAU a bad name because it's not AAU. Okay. I don't know why we even call this whole genre AAU because it's not AAU. AAU, they do things right. Nobody plays AAU no more though. That's the thing, right? All right. Everybody playing for these other tournaments. I'm not going to talk about their names or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so it's not AAU, right? It's more the grassroots thing that's going on, right? But what it should be, like, there should be an elite thing, and everything else should be travel basketball. Let's just cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Let's just cut it off. You got EYBL and everything else travel. So you got the best of the best. Y'all ain't the best. Y'all travel. You play for a travel team. You don't play for no AAU team. You play for a travel team. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. It should go back to that because you're right. I mean, I don't even know why they call these things. It's just a million travel teams. That's what I see it. You know what I mean? That they're travel teams now, and some people are delusional. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I mean, hey, I'm not knocking. You want to play basketball? That's cool, right? That this is the way you have to play. If you want to compete against competition, you have to play this style of basketball. Yeah. You will not play against any good competition outside of what we're doing right now. All right. But like you said, that it gets polluted with so many teams to where though if we cut it down, we can make better teams and represent better. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the area, right? But there's a lot of egos, right? And then we're in a town where there's a lot of guards and everybody can't play on the same team, right? Yeah. And we got more guards than anything in this town. So you probably are going to have. And then there's people that some things I got to be careful. I ain't going to say, but it's people that they just, it don't work out. It's like, all right, you play for this team, right? You coach JV, right? You'll have a kid play for a team, right? And all summer they might be killing, right? Or for this particular team, it look like you holding them back, right?
Yeah.
Then they come to you, they play against the level of competition y'all play against, right? And you don't see none of that. You like, yo, I wish you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be able to do those things. I'm not hating on you.
Right.
But where is that guy from the videos that I saw this summer? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not making them shots. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta look back at the video. Oh, they let you walk the ball up the court. I was like, okay. Oh, okay. You was playing in the C division. No wonder. All right. And then that's when they'll have a parent that don't know because they'll tell you how much they average. Oh, he averaged third. Yeah, I'm like, against who? Like, come on, man.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's hard. That's why I'm trying to give out information. You know what I mean? You don't have to. Everybody. There's a lot of people out here, but I'm just. When I post those videos, it's just information from facts that I know. You can try to contest it, but it's just facts. You know what I'm saying?
But that's needed.
Yeah,
it's needed. Just like a lot of stuff is needed. It's just are people retaining it or even receptive to the information?
Yeah,
because some people come into these. They come in with they already got the answers. People like some people listen to you to respond to you.
Yep. Not to hear the whole thing.
Nope. They don't want to hear or comprehend what you're saying, but they want to respond. They want to they already got an answer to what they're going to say to you.
Yeah.
They just let you finish it, and then they're going to say what they got to say. And I don't waste a lot of time too much, with that anymore. Because I realize I'm wasting my breath, And again, I try not to be a dream killer.
Yeah.
As a coach. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that you never want to do. I don't never want to discourage somebody from whatever their dream is.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm honest about is when somebody tell me that, hey, coach, my dream is I want to go to college. I want to play, get a scholarship and do whatever. At whatever level. I say, yo, you're not working hard enough to really make this team. You understand? So you had to work 10 times harder here
Yeah.
to even get to that level, because once you play college basketball, and we're just talking college basketball, we're not talking beyond that. We're talking from high school to college. College basketball is a business.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And they always looking for the next guy. So if you come in there with and your work ethic is, well, I don't feel like practicing today. I'm gonna go 70% today. That 70% will have you looking for somebody to play next year. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be, because it's a business. And you've seen the numbers. You got millions of kids playing high school basketball, and then that number gets cut down into some thousands, and then professionals is even less. You know what I'm saying? And then so your opportunities shrink each level you go up. But yeah, I'm if you're a dreamer, I want to encourage you to go for that.
See,
but be realistic about it.
You don't want to be a dream killer. I don't want to be a dream seller, right? I'm like, look, I ain't gonna sell you. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I know how much it's gonna hurt when the truth finally hits you, right? And I don't want that for you. See, that's what I don't want. I know what the truth is, even though everybody gonna try to, I know what the truth is, and you don't want to hear that. And you know what I'm saying? But like, the truth is, just like I try to tell people, the truth is, basketball is a tall man's sport. Okay. I wasn't great at soccer. Okay. That wasn't my sport. I wasn't good at those. You didn't see me at Pimlico riding no horses. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tall man's sport, and that's okay. You know what I mean? There's other things out here, but when we talk in this particular sport, it's a tall man's sport, man.
It is. And again, I don't knock anybody for wanting it, but be realistic about it. You know what I'm saying? And look, do some homework.
The best player that I ever played with was Shante Rogers, right? That's not a tall man, right? Right?
Not even a little bit.
But it's still a tall man's sport. You know what I'm saying?
See, you got my son on here clowning, talking about soccer could have been his sport.
Look, baseball could have been mine. You know what I'm saying? I could have did lacrosse. I probably could have did something else. You know what I mean? But I could have did volleyball. You know what I mean? Like, but we chose basketball. But basketball is it's a tough sport. It's gotten tougher with the money out there, right? I mean, it's hard for me to get 6'5" guys in the college right now. 6'5". Yeah. So what do we talk? That's what I'm trying to tell people. Yeah. I'm like, look, if I can't get a 6'5" guy that's all conference in my league into a school right now, you think you being undersized and with deficiencies, you gonna get into school, yo? Like, what are we talking about?
Nah, not even close. Not even close. So yeah, man, it's I commend you, for being out there and you grinding, and it's year round. Basketball is always basketball season, as I say. It's always basketball season. Basketball is never out of season. You go right from high school season to the spring to the summer
to the fall. Yeah, it never
right
stops.
Back into the winter.
Yeah.
So there's always, basketball season. So you coach in high school, right?
I coach high school. I'm at Glenelg Country School, varsity.
Okay. So do you encourage your guys to do other sports, or like to kind of change it up at all? Or do you have kids that play multiple sports?
You talking about my sons or the kids on my team?
No, the kids you coach, kids on your team.
Nah, not at this level. I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, right after the season, we going into AAU season, and then we got spring workouts, DMV live, and you know what I mean? Like, so now I feel like you should play a lot of different sports coming up. I think that's what helps it. Like, my boys might not have played different sports, but I taught them all of the sports. You know what I'm saying? And we did those for a long time, but I think playing different sports growing up is huge, but you're gonna get lost. You're gonna get if we talking basketball, you're getting left behind if you playing different sports at this level.
Yeah,
You you can forget about it. You ain't getting the bag. Yeah, you can't do that no more. That ain't happening unless you just have to be that great of an athlete, right? But how many of them are out there?
Not many. And again, that's some of the stuff that when I talk to these kids, because we now with us, we got more. Dundalk is more of a football school, so a lot of our kids play football. Which I had no problem with that. I said, but you have to dedicate some time to this basketball thing too. You know what I'm saying? You have to dedicate some time to it. There's no way of getting around it.
Yeah.
Because what happens, like you said, the teams that we competing against, they playing together all year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They playing together all year. So you seeing them in fall league, they playing together. You see them in the spring and summer, they playing together. And then once we get in the wintertime, you've been dedicating time to football, whatever else. So you trying to get into basketball shape. They off and running.
They ready to go. Yeah. But to each his own, But yeah, if you're trying, and when and another thing that people got to understand, when I'm talking about college and getting recruited, I'm talking Division I, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking D2, D3, JUCO. You can still go. You know what I mean? That can still happen. But if we talking Division I, man, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream.
Good luck, because you go D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA, okay, but D1, man, you better be 6'5" and up.
Yeah,
or you better be that guy. Like I saw some players this year that I thought were amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Superstars, 5'10", don't got no offers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? Wow.
It happens.
I'm like, this kid is dynamite. No real offers for this kid, and he plays on one of the toughest teams around.
Yeah. So you pretty plugged into what's going on around town with the high school kids, like who the up and coming kids are, and who the players are to watch. So who are some of these kids that we need to keep our eyes on in the next 2-3 years around this area?
This is what I'll say so I don't forget names, right? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what schools to look and watch. That way you'll see the kids. You know what I'm saying? Mount St. Joe's got some, right? Mm-hmm. Calvert Hall got some. St. Francis got some. Mm-hmm. Mount Carmel. Glenelg Country. Calvert Hall. They bringing them in as far as locally, and then in public you got City, you got Emerson. They rebuild. They stay getting them. They stay finding some good athletes. Lake. I'm trying to think who's Seed. Eddie doing his thing down there. Or Seed.
They play tomorrow for the States.
Yep. Yeah. Who else? But as far as names, you got Terrence down there, St. Francis. When you saying names, are you asking about the next guys that might get to play Division I basketball?
Yeah, the ones that's going. Because I'm familiar with Terrence because I know his dad.
Okay, his dad, but Terrence, and I'm trying to think who else in the league. I think Chauncey has a chance at Mount St. Joe when he'll be a junior next year. Who else am I seeing? Billy Stansfield, that's at Calvert Hall. He's somebody to watch. Nash Avery at Spalding, Braxton. My son, Josh Hurd at Long Reach.
What grade your son in?
10th grade. 10th grade.
How tall is he?
6'6".
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he might got a few more to go.
Oh, he definitely do. He'll definitely get up to about 6'8", 6'9".
So what's his game? What kind of game he got?
he's a more athletic me. You know what I'm saying? Like he can guard the guards. You know what I mean? He's like a Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen type. You know, I mean he ain't them yet, but I'm just saying in that mold, that's what he reminds me of. Greek freak. You know what I mean? Like he you know. He can do it all. I've taught him to be a basketball player, not a position. So he's a positionless basketball player, you know.
Which is how it should be. Because I try to teach my guys that way too. Just to don't get caught up in being a guard or a forward or just we need to learn how to play basketball.
Yep.
You know, because again, we don't have a 6'8" guy. We pretty much here. Everybody, everybody about the same.
Y'all gotta be scrappy.
So we gotta, everybody gotta play everything. So you get the one big guy we got. If he get in foul trouble, one of y'all gonna have to go in there anyway. So you might well learn it. You might well learn it. But
I like to post my guards. Sometimes my guards be better in the post than my big men. Right. So I've had teams where my little 5'7" guards are tearing up the other guard because they don't know how to play. They don't know how to guard them in the post. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I definitely teach my guards how to play in the post.
That's what's up, man. So so I'm definitely with me being a coach, it's hard to see other teams.
Yeah.
Especially during the season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's hard. So, but you kind of got those what is it? Where all the games are on, the little site that all the games are on.
We go to Huddle. We go to NSFH.
So I'm on that a lot.
Okay.
So I kind of when I have time, I'll go and watch some teams that I haven't heard about or I heard about that just haven't been able to chance to see them.
Yeah.
So now, because you named a lot of private schools.
You
named a couple publics. Like Emerson and Lake.
The county one's got some too. Milford,
Newtown,
Overly, Newtown.
Yeah, Lord Will doing thing over there, Overly.
Yeah,
we played against them this year. I've been watching him for a few years. I like how he handled his business over there.
Yeah,
he run a good program. Over
Poly on the come up. They coming. Yeah.
So is that a thing too? Like. In our day, the public schools kind of were the dominant teams.
I'm glad you said that because people don't understand that. People don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that the publics were better back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, right now the private school, especially in the MIAA, that's a different level. You know what I mean? It definitely then. I mean, there's some really good public school teams. You know what I mean? But it's just the way it's recruited, the way we. I mean, the schools are run like college basketball programs. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to compete with that if you don't have those type of resources.
Right. And then even if you have to go to a public, it's not like it can't happen.
Hold up. My son is at a public. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not dissing him. I came from a public. It can happen, but when you're at the public, you're gonna have to play for one of them teams, and not one of the teams where you don't know the name. You're gonna have to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to play for one of them teams that they know the name, and it can definitely work. I mean, look at Baba. From that's going to Maryland. He plays for a county school. He goes Montgomery County, Blake. So it can. But he also played for Durant, right? Yeah. That's where that came from.
Yeah. But it's really about understanding the grind and understanding the lay of the land.
And
you know what I'm saying? So you can't just play for team Titanic. Because they say they play AAU.
and what situation works best for you? Like me at Milford Mill, right? I get to go coast to coast. I get to do everything. So I get to work on my game, right?
Yeah.
When I'm down Cecil, it's more finish around the rim, block shots, offensive rebound, defensive rebound, right?
Mhm.
So I never had to stay in that mold the whole time because I get to go back to Milford and work on my, get to show my overall game,
Yeah.
and that helped me. I went from playing center in high school to small forward immediately in college. I started as small forward. So,
But it take me back to something that Dante said, Dante Bright, when he was
mm-hmm.
on here. It said, and really for him, it didn't matter who he played with because he understood the game.
Yeah.
And so he like, I don't have to score all the points.
Nah.
I know how to play. And I'm gonna get what I need to get. But the object is winning.
That is definitely the object.
Yeah. So he played in, like he said, when he was the player of the year in the city his sophomore year. The following year, you know what I'm saying, Mike Lloyd was on the team his sophomore year, but it's like now he's taking on more of a role.
Yeah.
So he like, yo, he gonna get his shots. I'm gonna get mine, but I ain't worried about it. He gonna take his shot. He gonna get the majority of the shots.
Yeah.
You got Keith Booth coming. That can score. You know what I'm saying? You got Scooter. So he got guys that he know
that can play.
And I can fill a role. And I'm humble enough to understand I can still do what I gotta do and contribute to wins rather than me worrying about, well, I'm the guy, I was the player of the year, so I gotta do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, at Milford Mill, you kind of understood. You did things because you could, and probably because the team needed you to do a little more.
Definitely.
When you went down Cecil, you playing with Nutt and Billy Wells and all these guys.
It's an all-star team.
It's different.
Yeah.
And you figure out how to be successful within that.
Yeah.
But everybody can't do that.
They can't. A lot of people can't
do that.
Everybody can't.
Here, it'll destroy him here because, like, yo, I got to get 20. I got to get 25. You know what I'm saying? I can't. What you mean you want me to rebound and block shots and clean up the boards? What are you talking about? No. But again, guys that can play and understand the game. That on a team, there's only 5 guys on the court, and each guy has a role. Everybody is not going to be the shooter. Everybody's not going to be the scorer on the team. You have to fill a role. You have to understand what your role is and excel at it. And you'd be surprised, like you say, if you take on that role as you blocking shots, you rebounding, you cleaning up around the basket. You look up, you got 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Without even having a play drawn up for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're still effective and you're affecting the outcome of a game. But again, everybody can't play that role. Everybody is not humble enough to say, I can do this because this team don't need me to be what I am over here. I can come over here and fill this role and still be effective and not feel cheated when we win in games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, like those Dunbar teams was like all-star teams, right? They was kind of like an AAU team, so yeah, you definitely gonna have to share the wealth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they listen to the names that you just said. You just said Dante Bright, Mike Lloyd, Keith Booth, Scoot Alexander. Everybody played Division I college basketball, right? Like, I mean, come on. Now I can't say that when you say my starting 5. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't say everybody played Division I. That's you can say some played Division II. Somebody might want to JUCO, but we can't say 5 went, and we can't say 2 was McDonald All-Americans. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, But again, down Cecil, my 10 rebounds is worth a lot.
Yes.
That's almost like scoring 20 and 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't go in all thinking about scoring. I was always trying to dominate. I just was trying to dominate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was in my head. I knew if I dominated, my team would probably win. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm trying to get every rebound, I'm trying to block every shot. I'm just trying to impose my will out there at all times.
Yeah. So as we get ready to wrap up, Baltimore basketball, known for, gritty, tough, hard-nosed, all over the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the stamp that the city get, or even the area.
Yeah.
I don't want to just say the city, but that's kind of the stamp that we get. You know, what is your thought on the city or Baltimore period as a basketball town? What's your thoughts of how you see if you was to describe Baltimore to somebody in North Dakota? What would you describe Baltimore basketball as to them?
It's a very gritty, physical style of basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought the Baltimore game, to me, the Baltimore game was the small forward game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when I think of Baltimore, I think of like Reggie Lewis, Reggie Williams, Carmelo. It just seems like we produce like the best small forwards. Dante Bright, you know what I'm saying? All these guys are really small forwards. Even me, we all small forwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that true basketball player game to the basket and extremely aggressive and gritty. You know what I mean? Like them Baltimore teams, we're gonna press, we're gonna get up in your face. It's just nobody plays pickup the way that we play pickup. I'll say that. I've been everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I've been all over the world playing pickup, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody played pickup the way that we play pickup ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's a definitely different style because people will tell you that. People that are not from here be like, yo, when I was in Baltimore, y'all like, yo, that was when I played my best basketball, this, that. Like, yo, y'all different, this, that. So, it's a rough, gritty game to me because think of BNBL and Project Survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I raised my kids, and I started them there before we went to AAU or whatever. We started out the same thing as me. They was playing BNBL and products because even to this day, it's still a different game down there.
Right.
It's a way more aggressive because those kids might not be the best basketball players, but they're gonna play hard as I don't know what. It's almost like football, basketball down there.
It's
You know what I
definitely
mean?
gonna be gritty.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be gritty.
Yeah.
A good place cut your teeth. All right. So if you you can name you and give yourself 4 other guys from Baltimore, y'all going to DC. You going anywhere, going to any city in the world, but you and 4 other guys from Baltimore. It could be 4 guys you played with, 4 guys. It's you and any other 4. Who you taking?
To be honest, I gotta go with my 5 that got us to the national championship to AAU. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me, that's Marvis Thornton, that's Shantae Rogers, that's Johnny Hemsley, and that's either Billy Wells or Rock. You know what I mean? I mean they're on that squad. You know what I'm saying? But that 5 did something special. I think Mike Lloyd and them won it when they played, but we lost the championship game, but we got there. You know, to be a small ball team, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And it's nothing like your guys.
Oh, and then you gotta put Kevin Simpson on it. There you go. You gotta put Kev. I put Kev.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta put Kev. So yeah, I mean, but see, I went with the guys that you know what I mean, that was playing on my team. But if we go all, let me rephrase it. It'd be Nut, Kev Simpson, me, Norman, and I'm gonna go Bootsy again. I'm gonna go Bootsy. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Now, Kev, right? I know him. I ain't gonna say we homeboys, nothing like that. We casual. You know what I'm saying? We see each other speak.
Yeah.
But he was one of the guys, like the very first time I seen him play. I don't know what grade he was in. I seen him down the dome. And I said, he a pro. My first thoughts was like, man, Shorty is a pro, man.
He was a whole problem. Problem. He was the GOAT. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, same thing like you said. I saw him when I saw him in 8th grade. He was in 10th. Remember I told you I was always with Smitty and them, right?
Yeah.
So we was about to go to camp. We was down Southern and he was down there dunk. He was just starting to learn how to dunk, you know. Then I was just like, wow. And then he killed at the camp that we went to. We went to Metro Index together. Yeah. You know what I mean? And from that point on, I had followed him and them, you know, him and Mikey and the whole crew, you know.
Yeah, Kev was a problem, man. I said, God damn, this Shorty is tough, man.
Yeah.
and he just never disappointed. Every time I seen him play, man, it was.
So he played. He beat Felipe, right?
Mm-hmm,
That was
mm-hmm,
at Loyola. I
mm-hmm,
saw him beat. I was on the team. He was on the team with me when we beat Kobe Bryant.
mm-hmm,
We won the Sunny Hill tournament out
mm-hmm.
in Philly. It was me,
I heard
him.
about that. I heard about that.
Then and then I saw him kill dudes up 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys were scared of him.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
okay, it was tough,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I definitely, man. I'll be, I see. I've been following you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still in the basketball group. Shout out to the Baltimore. What is the Baltimore basketball group? On
Baltimore
Facebook.
basketball group. Yeah.
Shout out to them, man. Everybody over there. I've been, follow. I don't comment as much.
Yeah.
But I follow. I watch. You know what I'm saying? I see some of the stuff. Some of the stuff a little too. Just
I mean, it's gotten better. There was a time period where we was wilding. You know what I'm saying? But it's calmed down. You know what I mean?
Like you always made great points. You know what I'm saying? Like when it was just strictly basketball. You're like, I know who really keep it basketball. Sometimes some of it's entertainment. I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you always kept it basketball. And like I say, I followed a couple videos you've been posting recently.
Yeah.
And I gotta get this brother on, man. Just chop it up with him.
I appreciate you for reaching out, man. Really. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate you for reaching out.
Definitely. And then, we had to do something else. I'll get you back on, man. We talk, this March Madness coming up.
Yeah. I'm always
jump off in the NBA. So,
always,
basketball season is tighten up, man.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah.
And then like say this summer, I'm gonna try to get out and just watch a little basketball when I can. I mean, we got stuff going on, but I'm gonna try to get out.
I'll tell you this: the best times to come. There's gonna be 2 tournaments at the convention center for May hoops. Go to those because that's where everybody gonna be at. Those. Say that again.
What are they gonna be?
I got the dates. I'm gonna send them to you, but I know that the first one is in May and the other one is. I think they're back to back. But the first one's in May and then the other one's in July, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the convention center. Yeah.
Everything we posted on those. I definitely like to go.
Yeah.
Just to put my eyes on some good basketball.
Yeah.
Some of that summer grind. See the up and comers and what's popping.
Yeah.
With the basketball scene. But for sure, man, I appreciate you coming through. Definitely a good conversation. Learned a little bit more about you. I knew some things about you, but I just rather hear from the horse's mouth rather than, hearsay.
Yeah.
So definitely, man, good chopping it up with you.
Yeah, and
I definitely go do something else. For sure.
Definitely. Reach out whenever. I definitely will holler at you soon too. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. So any words you want to give for you?
Shout out to the whole Baltimore basketball group. Shout out to, everybody out here, all these coaches working, trying their hardest. You know what I mean? Parents, be smart. You know what I mean? Know who you listening to. Know, there's a resume for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You might want to, Google people and see, you can't find something. You can't find no basketball on them. There's a reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that's what I'm gonna leave with. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to leave it.
Yes, sir.
Google is your friend sometimes.
It definitely can be. It can.
Be your friend sometimes. Stop looking up all that nonsense.
Yep.
But man, I appreciate you joining me, man. It's been a pleasure. Good conversation for sure. Blanchard Hurd, one of Baltimore's finest, Milford Mill legend, Loyola College. I'm gonna shout you out tomorrow when I go up there.
Tell them. Yeah, I still got some people over there. I still got some people at Loyola. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yes, sir. I'll see you soon.
We'll definitely do it again.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. Peace. All right. So that was Blanchard Hurd, Milford Mill, Loyola College. Still coaching basketball right now at. I done forgot where he coach at. This is bad, but he coaching basketball now, right? In high school level. We're gonna have him back on the show at some point. Talk some more basketball, man. It's a good conversation. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. If you're watching on Facebook, hit them likes, hit them share buttons, man. Help share this thing out. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Glenelg Country. Look at my son helping me out. Thank you, sir. You get a producer credit for the night. Glenelg Country School is where Blanchard coaches at. For those that was watching on Instagram, appreciate y'all for checking me out, man. Make sure y'all liking these pages, man. Subscribing to the Facebook page, the YouTube page. Sharing it with your friends. Get me some likes, some comments, and some shares, man. Appreciate everybody. Coming back next week, next Tuesday. You know, we'll see what's popping. The NCAA tournament is starting. Hey, if y'all want to join the Sports Mix Bracket Challenge, man, check it out at CBS Sports and plug in the Sports Mix podcast bracket challenge. So CBS Sports, the Sports Mix podcast bracket challenge. If you want to get into the bracket tournament, the NCAA tournament challenge, the tournament has started this evening. The first 4, so I think it was 2 games a night, and then the tournament kicks off Thursday around noon. You got games all day Thursday, games all day Friday. The beginning of March Madness, it is here. The college season will come to a close in 3 weeks. Remember, the NBA playoffs will be starting in probably about around the same time March Madness is over with. The NBA season will be wrapping up around the first part of April. So playoff time kicking in. You know, hopefully we don't have too many more 83-point games where teams like the Wizards is rolling over and just kind of letting somebody score that many points. Let me stop picking on the Wizards. But I appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. If you got somebody you want to see me get on here, hit me in the comments or hit me in the inbox, man. Let me know you want to see certain people come up, tell their basketball stories, Baltimore guys. They can be national guys, don't matter. But if you want to see them on the show, see something you want to hear us talk about, hit me in the comments. Hit me on my inbox, man, on Facebook, Instagram. Hit me up on YouTube. If you see me out in the streets, let me know. Let me know what's popping. So appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. One more again. We will see y'all next week, man. Peace.